All right, picture this. You're out at sea, way out so far from land that you can barely even remember what grass feels like. That's where you'd find Point Nemo. Ever heard of it? Well, buckle up because this spot is the most remote place on the entire planet. Point Nemo sits smack dab in the heart of the South Pacific Ocean. Its name? It comes from Captain Nemo, the mysterious submarine commander from Jules Verne's 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. Fitting, right? Because nobody's ever around. In fact, it's so far from civilization, the nearest humans are usually astronauts, zipping by overhead in the International Space Station. Now, you might be wondering, how far out is it exactly? Point Nemo is about 1,450 nautical miles from the nearest land in any direction. That's over 1,600 miles, folks. The closest bits of land are tiny, uninhabited islands you've probably never heard of. Ducie Island, Motu Nui, and Maher Island. So, if you were stranded at Point Nemo, you'd be closer to people in space than anyone on solid ground. Talk about lonely. And what's really wild, Point Nemo isn't marked by a buoy or a sign. There's nothing out there but endless blue ocean. No ships, no islands, no seagulls, just you and the water. Scientists call it an oceanic pole of inaccessibility. That's just a fancy way of saying it's the hardest place on Earth to get to. But here's where it gets even more interesting. Because it's so remote, space agencies use Point Nemo as a cosmic graveyard. When satellites or old space stations are ready to retire, they're often guided down to crash into the ocean right at Point Nemo. This way, there's practically zero chance of hitting anyone or even any wildlife. In fact, over 100 spacecraft have met their watery end here, including Russia's Mir space station. Of course, because it's so isolated, the ocean around Point Nemo is kind of like a desert. There's barely any life out there. No big fish, no coral reefs. Even ocean currents struggle to bring in nutrients. If you're a deep-sea explorer or an adventure junkie, this is as off the grid as it gets. So next time you're feeling a little alone, just remember, there's a place on Earth so remote, the closest folks are orbiting miles above your head. Point Nemo, a true testament to just how big, wild, and mysterious our planet really is. Thanks for hanging out with me. If you thought that was interesting, make sure you hit that subscribe button for more deep dives into the world's weirdest places.